Hello guys, welcome to pcdrills where you find help on how to handle your PC related issues. Today we are continuing with our topic of computer hardware components. Here is lesson 3, manual input components. We already had our first two lessons. The first one was the introduction, second one was just the basics to classify. Today we are talking about the manual input components. So if you have not yet seen the other first two, this third one might be confusing, but you can just head over and look at the first two. So let's begin. This particular lesson 3, the manual input components for a computer system, will be looking at the definition of manual input components, and we will talk about the examples of those manual input components. And lastly, which is our C, we'll talk about the physical view of the examples that we'll talk about. So the first one, definition, next the examples, and we'll talk about the physical view of the examples that we'll be talking about in B. Stay tuned and we'll look at them. For our definition, manual input devices require the computer user to physically operate and manipulate them in order to input data into the computer. So for you to be able to input any data into the computer using these manual input devices, what needs to happen for the data to input will be you will need to operate the machine manually, probably having to be pressing the keyboard for the display, for what to change or add on the screen, press to delete, and so on. So manual input will always need a user to be able to operate. Without the user, it cannot input anything on its own. For these manual input components or devices, we have various examples. For the purpose of this lesson, we will just see a few of those input components. We have the mouse, keyboard, trackball, touchpad, gamepad, touchscreen, joystick, digital camera, scanner, microphone, and so on. There are many more examples, but for the purpose of this particular video or this particular lesson, we'll be looking at these few. But if you have anyone that you specifically want to see, you can just leave it at the comments section, or if you have any question. Our C will have to look at each of these and give a brief description and show you an image for you to have a clearer vision of what these particular components look like. First, we have the mouse. This is what we call a mouse. Some people can call it a USB mouse. It depends, but this is basically how it looks like. You have a USB cable that you plug on the CPU, and you have on the other end something that looks like a mouse. You can see on the left it is the device, on the right you can see someone's hand, how you place your hand when using it. You have right click, left click, scroll, many other functions on the mouse. So you can say a mouse is a pointing device used to navigate the computer. Navigate here, you can scroll up, scroll down, click, right click to select, highlight, many more other functions. Generally, this is what we call an external mouse. For laptops, you will just have it being as part of the keyboard, and we call that one touchpad, but it's one of these components. So as of now, we are just talking about the external mouse. Next, we have a keyboard. Keyboard comes of various sizes, various colors, produced by various manufacturers with various designs. Depends just on who produces the keyboard and how they would like it to be. On the left, you have the standard one. On the right, you have the other one, mostly called ergonomic keyboard. But it does not matter. They do the same thing. You press letters, characters, numbers, spaces, and they appear on the screen. So that's just the basic work of the keyboard. So you can define a keyboard as basically a text input device. All the text you see on a computer, you can insert it using the keyboard, and this is how it looks like. Next, we have a trackball. Trackball is a small ball that is set in a holder and can be rotated by hand to move a cursor on the computer screen. On the left, you can see a hand holding the trackball. You just have to be rotating to any direction that you wish, and the mouse on the screen gets moved. So you just need to rotate. So if you rotate left, the cursor on the screen goes left. You rotate right, the cursor goes right. Up and down, it follows the way you rotate it on your hand. On the right, you can have various designs. You can see various designs for the same equipment. Next, we move over to the touchpad. The touchpad here is a computer input device in the form of a small panel containing different touch sensitive areas. It basically performs the function of a mouse, something I just told you a few seconds ago if you are actually following up. On the left, you can see a finger trying to demonstrate how it works. All you need to do is touch inside a small square. You move left or you move right, and the cursor on the screen, it follows suit. So if you move your finger left on the screen, it moves left also. And when you basically get out of the box, you just start again by going to the other end and you move again, and it just follows how it works. On the right, you can see this other part under is divided. There's left and right. Even on the left is there, but it's not physically divided. On the right, you can see it's physically divided. You have right click and you have left click. I mean this part, you have a right click on this other end. So left click for the left side, I have right click for the right side. Next, we have a gamepad, very popular for people who play games. A gamepad is a handheld controller for video games. As simple as it is, you use a gamepad to play games. We don't use gamepad to type a Word document. It has its function. If you want to type your Word document, use your keyboard. If you want to play a game, the keyboard can also be used to play, but the gamepad is dedicated only for games. I hope it's clear. No further explanation. These ones can be also having various designs. You can see the design on the left that's being held by the hand is not the same as the one on the right. Next, we have a joystick. The joystick is actually a lever that can be moved in several directions to control the movement of an image on a computer or a similar display screen. So you can move it left, move it right, move it top, bottom, basically resembling how the trackball was moving, if you remember. I hope you are following up and you are understanding. If there's anything that you don't understand, you can just give us a comment and we will respond to it with a greater and more detailed explanation of the particular point you figured out. So we hope we are on the same page. So the lever here on the right we only have a lever, but on the left, what we only have as a joystick is just this particular portion. You have two joysticks here only. So you have one on the top left, you have one on the bottom right, two. Next, we have a digital camera. Remember, we are under manual input components. So all of this one will require a user to manually operate them. Here we have a digital camera. A digital camera which produces digital images that can be stored in a computer or displayed on the screen. Digital camera is simply to help you produce images that can be stored in a computer or displayed on a screen, as simple as that. Next, we have a scanner. A scanner is a device that scans or captures photographic documents and converts them into digital data. So if you have maybe a textbook, you are scanning a page you want to scan, or a photo you want to maybe have it inside your computer, you have it on a physical paper. To have it inside your machine, you will need to scan. It's basically like you are taking a photo. That's the meaning of scanning. On the left, you have a small kind of scanner. On the middle is another, and to the right we have a bigger one. So it depends on which type you like and the number of functions you want. The one on the right is kind of performing scan, photocopy, printing, many things. But on the left, the two on the left, they can only scan. There's no printing functionality as I can see from the images. So all you need to do is put their image inside where there's the transparent glass and you cover the lid. You scan. After you change the paper whether you wish to scan, put the next one, you cover it. Covering it is for you to maximize the light to reflect only on what you need and actually get everything clear. Hopefully it's understandable to you, and if it's not really understood, you know how to ask it. I've been repeating it over and over. Next, we have a microphone. A microphone is an instrument used for converting sound waves into electrical energy variations that can be amplified, transmitted, or recorded. The definition might sound a little bit confusing, but basically a microphone is just something that can take sound input into the computer, as simple as that. Previously we had a camera, it takes images into the computer. Next we have the microphone, it takes but sound into the computer. Just like when you listen to music. When you listen to music, it was recorded through a microphone, but when you're listening it's through the speaker, although speaker is not one of the input. The speaker is instead an output device. Hopefully it's clear. No further explanations. You can see how the image might look like depending on the manufacturer and depending on the purpose. The one on the left is different from the design on the right. And that's all we prepared for you for this particular lesson of manual input components. That's just what we had for lesson 3, and we hope that you really understood what we tried to explain. And if you had any other issues related to the chapter or not related to the chapter, you always know that you can keep them at the comment section, or you write to us through any other means you find convenient. And we hope it was useful. If it was useful or it wasn't, please tell us in the comment section. If you have any questions, can get to us. Here are our various social media links, and moreover we have our email. See you next time on our next video. Bye and thank you for watching.